what's going on, everybody? I'm Brandon Robinson. Thank you for tuning in to National Self-Storage Investment Club. We have a great treat today. We have Angela Kilkenny. Did I say that right, Angela?
You did, Kilkenny.
Okay, we got Angela Kilkenny from List Self Storage and StorTrack. And what all companies are you from, Angela? You're from. I mean, you got so much that you're doing.
Well, the backstory is that I've worked with the company now for the better part of, I don't know, getting up for about we'll cut it off at 12 years.
12 years. Okay.
I was part of the launch team for StorTrack when we launched the pricing data model
Uh,
many years ago. And obviously, it's morphed now into a great suite of tools to help investors, brokers, operators do some more market due diligence, look at the competitive data across multiple facilities. So I've part of that team, and now I am heading up List Self Storage as a new project, and we can get more into that. I work with Jim here. We partner on a lot, hence that we're here today together to talk to you about our offerings.
Yeah, so there you go, Angela. She does. In short words, she does a lot. So, but Angela is going to be talking about how to find self-storage deals that are publicly listed for sale on the market via her platform, List Self Storage. So she's going to start off speaking about that. From there, Jim or James Bruenig of StorTrack, he's going to then speak about how you can find data to pursue off-market storage deals. So on StorTrack, they have some great systems where you can identify markets, you can pull leads lists, you can I mean, it's really great. I mean, they have data for about 60,000, 70,000 facilities across the nation, and they can help you out in terms of finding a market and pulling that owner data and information. And then after Jim speaks, I'm then going to speak about how you can utilize the leads list and the information that you get from StorTrack and James, and how you can do things such as skip tracing to find ownership data for those facilities, email blasts, text message blasts, voicemail drops, etc. So anyway, the stuff you guys are going to learn today, it's going to be very helpful. It's very potent, and there are other coaches and groups that I know of personally that charge tens of thousands of dollars for the information that we're going to give you guys today in terms of how to find and target off-market deals. Um, so with that being said, before I get into it, just want to remind you guys that next week, from Tuesday, April the 7th through Friday, April the 10th is the Inside Self Storage World Expo. If you guys go there, you'll see James, you'll see Angela. It's one of the largest self-storage gatherings in the country, actually in the world, where you have storage experts from all around the nation in one place. A lot of vendors, a lot of education. I highly recommend that you guys attend. Unfortunately, I won't be there because of some legal matters that I'll tell you about later, but I won't be there. So yeah, next week you guys be there. Also, next week, since I did intend on going to the expo, I did not intend on having a session next week. But what I'll do, since I won't be there, I'll hold a special session that will be recorded and we're going to talk about some of the things that we talked about last week, as far as some of you had some questions about how do I find a manager, how do I find a boots on the ground, how do I train them, things like that. So I'll hold a special session next week just for that. And as far as our schedule for April, after we come back from Inside Self Storage, that week of April 15th, Wednesday, we have Brett Henry from Trojan Storage that's going to be joining us and doing the Q&A and talking about how he scaled from just one small facility in the Midwest to now he's a top 50 operator with about 5 million square feet of storage across the nation. On the 22nd, we have Shayna from Quick Store. She'll be talking about how you can utilize Quick Store management software And then on the 29th, we have Alana Ross from Storage Auctions that will be talking about the process of repossessing and selling items via the online storage platform, which is really good. So, without further ado, with that being said, Angela, I will hand this over to you. Let me make sure that I have my share settings
It's asking me to request
on.
access.
Okay, all right. Okay, you should be able to share. You should be able to share now. And hey guys, if you have any questions as we are going through this, feel free to raise your hand or butt in. You don't have to be shy. You just stop and say, "Hey Angela, I didn't understand that. Can you say it again or repeat that?" Feel free to feel free to just butt in and ask a question. All right,
Okay, can everybody see my screen?
I can.
Yes, welcome.
Okay, let me just,
Actually, I
I,
don't think
I
are
can't
you,
see it.
you
No, I can't see it.
no. You may have to pick that particular screen.
application windows. Here we
Yep.
go. Okay, share.
There you go. I see it coming on now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for this session. I'm going to be talking to you about list self storage. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of list self storage. It was established over 10 years ago as a marketplace designed specifically for self storage sales. So I'm sure you are all aware that there's many other platforms that concentrate on the broader aspects of commercial property, but this site is designed purely for investors, brokers, developers, and operators, all looking to come to one single source so that they can get access to market opportunities. So the role of the platform is to basically just simply list self-storage properties that are for sale. So you can discover acquisitions opportunities, compare properties across markets, evaluate any type of investments that you're looking for. And the nice thing about it is you can contact the listing broker directly right off the platform, saving you guys a lot of time trying to find out which broker is managing which property. So currently, there's over about 350 properties on there for investigation. So the types of properties that you're going to find is going to be self-storage facilities, development sites, new construction, any types of projects, and even some RV parks and boat storage if you're interested in that. Um, it's user friendly. You can go onto the listing, which I'll show you, and each of the listings will display the types of properties that are available to you. There's some really nice high resolution images that you can investigate what's going on with the property, who's the broker, what the square footage is, etc., and any type of financial highlights. The market intelligence is also integrated with StorTrack, and that's what Jim's going to talk to us a little bit about in the next in the coming slides. But when you're looking to do some market due diligence, you don't want to try and manually try and scrape that information together. So right off of the listing, you'll be able to click on a link that will take you right into the StorTrack platform. There's other key development areas that you can do. The tools in the platform are super easy for you to access. It's just, and I will demonstrate that in a second. You can just go into the website, click on the property listings, and get instant access. Some of this is a little bit repetitive, but the types of people that are on the site are either investors, buyers, commercial brokers, developers, anybody who's basically interested in the whole acquisitions. And obviously, operators can basically put their listings on there as well. But obviously, it's more broker led. The key points about the site. I'm sorry if I'm going a little bit too fast because I'm on a little bit of a time crunch, but it's nation. It's it's nation.
You're all right, Angela. That's just a
You
you're
gave
all
me a
right.
time crunch. So it's nationwide property listings, again, powered by StorTrack. And it's a unique resource enabling you to connect yourself with any deals that are actually on the marketplace. So does anybody have any questions?
I don't have any questions, but one thing I do want to point out to everyone is that this is one of the, actually, it's probably the only listing website that's specifically for self-storage. All the other ones that you use or that I know we use in our brokerage, such as LoopNet, Crexy, businesses for sale, buy, biz, sell. Those are all a multitude of various different properties, retail, office, apartments. This is one of the only ones that's exclusively for self-storage, and it's very good.
And it,
One of the other really good points too is even like when you click on a listing, you can get at least a high level overview of what you're looking at in the market. And it's all based on StorTrack data. So again, it's that part is, I think, very unique to this. Again, you don't have to take that address, dump it into another location, create
Right.
a market, do the search. Literally, if you click on one of these, you're going to at least get a high level overview. And then again, too, if you want to get more data, those opportunities are just a couple clicks away.
Yeah, so let's just take a look at the listings. So it's an easy click on the listings, and you can basically select any type of area that you're looking for. You can put in all California here, and then we can just basically click on any listing. Here's how the properties are. There's some high resolution images that gives you kind of like a land overview as to what you're looking to buy into. From this perspective, I mean, I can already see some opportunities for any upgrades. So there's ways in which you can reimagine what you can do with the property to make sure that you can maybe drive some more money, some more revenue. Here's who's actually managing this particular property, and you can click on it. But here's the unique thing about it. Once you're on the property, you can then basically start selecting your competitive data, and you can drive right into the StorTrack platform right here and be able to basically get started with your due diligence. So you can get a quick market overview. It will give you some opportunity to look at any of the competitors that are around there. The instant report is $129, so not a lot of investment, just to basically do a little bit of due diligence to see basically whether or not this is the right market, this is the right property for you. But Jim will touch a little bit more on that. But the whole aspect of this site is that it's real community. The community that you don't have to go to LoopNet, Crexy, or any of those other sites because it's snakes and ladders to try and find self-storage. You really have to like dig through into those websites to really find it. So basically, maybe some missed opportunities when you're thinking that there's not a lot of inventory on the marketplace, whereby you can simply come to list self-storage and basically, start looking at all the properties that are available in your catchment area. And obviously there's news in this area. People just really like this site because it simplifies what's going on in the marketplace as well. So most of the advertisers on here do a really good job of communicating what their transactions are and any type of industry news about any type of interactions. It's a subscriber-led database, so there's 23,200 subscribers that sign up for information from us, making it easier for them to basically access more information about properties.
And it's free to subscribe, right? To just be a subscriber.
It is.
It's not, yeah.
It's free. It's free to subscribe, so you can basically get industry news or the snippets of what's happening. There's industry roundups, making it an easy, quick read. Or what really is attractive to a lot of people is the Hot Properties newsletter that basically comes out.
Yeah, and on the Hot Properties newsletter, because I know we send a bunch of stuff out. This is just new listings or you know, preferred listings from the various brokers that will get sent to you if you're a subscriber on List Self Storage. And again, it doesn't cost anything for you to just join as a subscriber to get their news feed and to get a list of various listings.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's free to subscribe, and how it works is we've got a whole bunch of brokers that have been working with us for a number of years. I think you're up to about 5 years with us now, Brandon, aren't
Oh
you?
no, I'm more than that. I was
Yeah,
one of the
Brandon's
no,
like one
when
of your easier. He's not easy
yeah,
You're
OG.
the original.
yeah. When Teresa was it Teresa Gallus and
Yeah.
Ian Bernstein, all those groups.
yeah. It's like 2015. They started
Dude, that-
contacting me, and yeah.
Yeah, well, here's how it kind of like works for preferred brokers, which you are. You get to get your listings at the top here, making it really easy to get your listings in front of the 23,000 subscribers. We also put fresh on the market, so if you're just looking for what's fresh, you don't have to don't have to dig through. There's lots of featured brokers that we do, and I should have had you on there, Brandon. Sorry,
It's all right. I'm on there somewhere. No, don't worry
you're
about it.
you're you're always on there.
That's all right.
And then we do a roundup of listings that you may have missed. So it goes out weekly on a Tuesday, so that we can make sure that anyone's a subscriber. It has a good open rate, about 33% consistently. So that gives you like an idea of how active the community is. So if you are looking to present yourself to owners, operators, brokers, acquisitions departments, investor groups, this would most definitely be the place for you to look for listings or have your listings present.
Does it pick up the listings from like MetroList, not MetroList, but LoopNet and that type of thing, or only brokers who list with you guys?
So, we obviously do target people that have listings out there, wherever those listings might be, and we encourage them to put their listings on here. It costs $39 to have a single listing, or you can be part of the Preferred Brokers program. And if anybody wants any of that information, I can most certainly talk you through it. But you can just simply come to the website, and it says submit properties here. It's an easy, intuitive kind of like walkthrough. Just put your property name on here, fill out all the details, make sure that you can say what you're doing, whether you're doing a single property or you have a portfolio that you want to upload. Follow the step-by-step instructions, and then your properties will be approved and they'll be live within a couple of hours, unless we need anything else. But no, we don't. We're looking for. I mean, we're doing a really good job. Our marketing department is doing a really good job of doing more outreach to the brokers. That have properties out there, encouraging them to put their properties out there. Since we merged, or since StorTrack purchased this site about 5 years ago, from the Ian Bernstein group, it was deemed that we would be able to do a little bit more, help people a little bit more, in terms of how they can promote their listings by getting access to the market reports. The market reports have been a real winner for everybody. But not only do your properties get listed on List Self Storage, and not only do you have the opportunity to use the marketing tools that we have, but you also get to have your listings present within the StorTrack acquisitions property. So I think this might be a good time for me to hand over to Jim. And Jim can, take it from here in terms of, how this actually works.
Sounds great. Thanks, Angela. Yeah, and as Angela was saying, so going back to the original question, does it cover, all the listings? It covers the majority. I would say there's going to be very few that are missing short of like off-market deals. So when you're looking on there, it's going to give you a pretty good representation. Brandon can probably speak to this as well. And again, most of the major brokers are using this platform. The other nice feature is, and again, I look at LoopNet and Crexy, and I always have to sift through, and that's one of the advantages, I think, to this platform. And then the other thing too is just getting that instant market data. And I'll share my screen and kind of jump in kind of how that
And Jay,
crosses
I
over.
would say, as far as just brokers that are specifically self-storage, all of us put our stuff on List Self-Storage.
Yeah, that's why I say I think there's
Yeah,
very few that are not on there.
the only ones that are not on there that would only be on maybe LoopNet or Crexy is if there's like some type of one-off broker who they have they sell residential or apartments or something, but they have a friend or a colleague that wants them to list their storage, and they just don't know about this storage specific site. But
Sure.
yeah, all the major storage brokers, we all put our stuff on here.
Yeah, and I joined the team, the List Storage team, back in September. We've got an extensive marketing program that we have in place. We started posting on our LinkedIn site shortly after the last show in Las Vegas and quickly grew to about 1,500 followers, which I think is really fast in terms of building. If anyone builds portfolios in LinkedIn, you'll know that's incredibly fast. But what's a unique thing that's happening on that area as well is that people are resharing the properties that they have. So there's multiple channels for you to promote your properties using the tools that we have.
So one of the other features on here, and then I'll get into how the StorTrack data crosses over. Again, you can look for if you're looking at a specific price range,
Yeah.
net rentable square footage, you can put min max. So again, whatever size you're looking for, you can narrow it down again just to kind of save yourself some of the grief of weeding through everything out there. I'm just going to click on this one. This was Texas location. One of Brandon's, as a matter of fact.
Oh, fantastic.
And so one of the quick things that you can do, and Angela kind of highlighted on this, is you can do 1 mile, 3 mile, 5 mile, and just get a quick sniff test overview of what's going on. So again, median household income, population within that 3 mile range, square foot per capita. Again, square foot per capita, and I'll get into this a little bit later. This is one of my big gripes lately, is that a lot of people think square foot per capita is the determining factor for a good or a bad market. It's really rate trends, and I'll get into that in a minute. But again, we'll show you what that is. Total square footage in that market. So again, that's not just this location, but we're going to show you that rentable square footage, and then the average rate per square foot. And again, just kind of a quick map view of what's going on. And then what you can do is if you click on the Explore More Data, you can get the actual data set here, which is going to give you a little bit more information. Here we segmented out by the in-store rate, online rate. Most of the other information is pretty similar. Again, you can select your radius that you want, and then again, you can just quickly purchase it. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this address real quick. And I'm going to drop this into StorTrack and just kind of show you what that looks like. As Brandon said, we are going to be at ISS next week, booth 326, if anybody's attending. And again, as Brandon said, highly encourage everybody to attend this. If you can, it's a great learning experience. It's going to be one of the largest collection of industry professionals across everything from both brokers to technology, property management software, third-party management groups. And I always tell people it's a great opportunity to get out and talk to a lot of people. One of the things that happens in this industry, and I see it a lot, is that people get kind of hung up in their bubble, and you're talking to 2 or 3 people, and that's not the industry. The industry is a pretty big, wide open place, and there's a lot of different ideas and views on how to do things. In this particular industry is rapidly changing. So again, if you can make it, highly encourage that. On our website, I'm just going to go ahead and log in. We have, when you do log in, and we have several different subscription levels, starting out at $79 a month, all the way up to $1,200 a month for the enterprise level for multiple users, power users. But we have levels in between there. You can also purchase market access for 30 days. Again, there's several different ways to get to this data. I'm going to go ahead and just go into the self-storage side. We do cover boat and RV as well. And I'm just going to drop that address in here. And again, you can see from our site, we also have a link to that listing URL. must have clicked just off it. So again, that's one of the things, you can see that listing URL. You can actually put in a filter for sale and development sites. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Move that off. But the for sale sites show up as a magenta, and again, there's that link to that listing URL. From here, you can see several different data points. And I'm just going to use the example, if you're using our lowest level service, our essential, you'll get access to all of this data. And what we're going to do is we're going to give you rates for climate control, non-climate control, the rate trend for the prior 12 months. So again, this is one of the big features and things that I'm kind of highlighting, especially when you hear people talk about demand, or if you're looking at large national reports. Everything is market centric. Brandon and I had a conversation about this. That if that rate trend is going up, occupancy is going up. If that rate trend is going down, occupancy is going down. And this is looking at it in a total 12-month period. So again, if you're looking at only rates, if you're looking on Google and going to their website and looking at what you see today, that is very short-sighted and probably not accurate. Self-storage is a very cyclical business. So again, having that history, looking at it that way, is really going to give you a much better picture. Is the market growing? Is it contracting? Is it flat? Rate trend is a super useful tool to see that. And again, realize we're kind of at the tail end right now of the slowest period of the year.
Yeah.
So this rate trend will probably go up from there. So I tell everybody anything from a -5 to a +5 is just cyclical behavior. Once you get greater than that percentage-wise, probably bears a closer look. All of these rates are collected as of today. We're going to show you percentage of climate control in the market. And then we're also going to share, the individual sizes, not by operator at this level, but you're going to get an average, again, 30-day average and 12-month trend. So some of these are going to be better performing units. And again, you can kind of go back and see how this market's doing, and it's going to start peaking back up again. So that's just my quick spiel on, what kind of data you can get. Again, there's a ton more reports buried in the actual, either a physical market report, or if you're subscribing, each level is going to give you a greater access to that. A couple of things I wanted to share also, especially when you're looking for properties. I'm going to go back to our filter map here. I'm going to take all of the, actually, I'm going to reset this. I'm going to take all of the operators off of the map. I'm going to show you a couple of cool tools. Except I'll leave the single operators. So again, single operators still are the largest segment of the market. And in some cases, most cases, these are not for sale. This is where you're going to find your off-market deals. So you can see right now we're showing 34,000 facilities that are just single operators. And that's the way we classify different operators, is by the number of units or number of facilities in their portfolio. So again, one is single operator or just one facility, small operators 2 to 4, a medium operator 5 to 29. So again, a lot of people looking for off-market deals are going to be focused on that single and small operator classification.
And James, I could say something. So the reason why a lot of folks that are in that are focusing on the single to small operators is because those operators are more likely to be kind of less sophisticated. A lot of the groups that are in that large operator or mid operator, especially the REITs, they tend to be more sophisticated, and they probably are going to list their property for sale on the market with a broker. They also might be keeping up with market trends, so they may know that, hey, stuff in my area is selling for X amount of dollars per square foot. Whereas the single operators are more of the mom and pop, smaller shops that, may not be as savvy and may not keep up with the market trends and pricing.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's where when you get into like a market report or any of the higher levels up that break out the rates by operator, I can't tell you how many operators I've looked at who haven't changed their rates for 3 years.
Yep.
So again, some of those rates, and I talked to a wide group of people looking to acquire self-storage. Some of them want to find the higher rate per square foot. I had one client, believe it or not, was looking for the lowest rate, and we have a search tool that can do that for you. Because his philosophy was there was only one way up. So it can't get any worse, right? So again, and if you buy something right and you use those low rates as a tool when you're negotiating, that again is something that can work to your advantage. So I always say good rates, bad if it's their rates are down or trending down, great time to buy. And that's like right now, I know there's obviously some apprehension in the market. Although I can tell you that the big money is plowing ahead. And the smart investors are doing that as well. And again, down market just creates a great opportunity. We're in what's called an absorption phase right now. So that's probably the best way I can put it. So we had a lot of overdevelopment in some markets after COVID. That's being absorbed. So as that absorption happens, those rates this will recover. Developments are down. So there's a lot of different factors working in the market. One of the things you can see on here too, again, you can get parcel information. We're going to tell you how many units, where we got our information. In this particular case, it was the county appraisal district. We have things like tax information, debt, if there is any, transaction history. Again, this could go back to when the land was originally purchased, and in most cases, some type of ownership information. Yeah. So, and again, I'm going to go back to the map here. I'm going to zoom out because I just want to show you a few more tools and tricks when you're looking at this. So again, we're looking at, I've got a spot picked on here, and I'll leave it there for now. But you can put on for sales. So again, there's a for sale right up there, 3 property. That's a portfolio. Again, you can click on that, go right to it from the map. The other thing I tell people to do is put in the single family and multifamily housing developments.
Yep. Again,
this is pipeline. This isn't existing. So now you can see where those, and again, this one that's for sale happens to be right next to apartment complex coming in with 145 units. And again, you get into some of the more concentrated areas, and you're going to see even higher numbers of housing coming in.
That's a good way to pick a market too, Jim. Like you can, if you zoom out and you're trying to figure out, okay, where should I invest? Look at where you see a bunch of blue dots. That's probably where there's a lot of growth.
Yeah, and I tell people, I honestly, my opinion is really in these outlying areas around these metros.
Yep.
Because that's where it's growing, and if you think about it this way, a lot of the larger groups buy up land out there 10 years ahead of time, just to secure their spot when the land is reasonable. Yeah. So again, understanding what's coming in that pipeline and what's available, and again, you look, we're tracking, I want to say probably close to 50,000 housing developments.
Yeah.
And again, you can see you're going to see where they're concentrated. You can use the map. So that's one way. Um, and again, I like to put those filters on there. The other thing you can do too is you can put in the developments. So I kind of want to know what's coming in the pipeline. So when I'm focused on something, or if I'm looking at something that I consider probably a good market, or maybe where there's some growth potential, I see all of these housing developments coming in out in this particular area, and I don't see any developments. And like I said, the developments are going to slow. So this is a great opportunity if you're looking at some of these. And again, you can just click right on one of them. So, in this particular case, there's really it doesn't even look like they're advertising any units. So this is probably a great opportunity for something, to look at.
Yeah.
Real quick, and then I'll kind of wrap it up. Hope I'm not running over here, Brandon. Sometimes
No,
you
you're okay. You're good.
One of the other things you can do in the filter section is you can search for a property, like if you're looking for something that was 2015 or newer, or maybe recently renovated, or again, square footage. Some people are looking for 20, 30,000 square feet and under. Some are looking for 40,000 and up. You can select that, and that will also filter the map out. It has ownership information. One of the other things we've added is retailers, and we've put the top 100 retailers in. So again, you can put in food and beverage, convenience stores if you're looking for to be near gas stations or something of that nature. You can put those in. There's several different features: senior care, colleges, whatever you think is really kind of your niche or where you think you can make some ground.
And James, you were talking about with this, you can download a leads list from
Correct. And we have a new UI coming out tomorrow, so I apologize to everybody. This is going to look completely different. It's going to be much more user friendly. So hopefully it will be easier to use. So right now in our reports tab, I can go to a list builder. And so for example, if I wanted to search a particular state, and I'll just do California.
this is big, so you guys should pay attention to this. This is really big.
Um, and let's say I want to be in a certain size range. I'm going to say minimum 20,000 to 60,000. Again, you can put whatever you want. You can put a minimum number of storage units. Your open has ownership information. I'm going to say yes. And if you want, you can include developments as well, because I'll tell you, there's a lot of developments right now that are stalled out that either, and some of these are really great locations. It's just they didn't have their finances in order before those interest rates changed. So some of those are just sitting there. Again, just another thing to look for. But I'm just going to go ahead and search pretty simple. You can also search by ownership. So if you know the LLC, or if you think there's a group that owns 4 or 5 locations, you can search by ownership or the facility name. So again, there's several different ways. So I'm going to hit the search button. And that's how quick I'm going to get my list. Right now, I've got 1,506 locations that match that criteria. And again, you can see we're going to have ownership information. And again, when you download this or pull the full report, let's see if I've got one out.
And this stuff is pretty accurate too, because since you're searching in California, like I know a lot of these folks. Like I'm just looking at the ownership names and the management names, and this is very accurate information.
Yeah, and then you can see we also tell you what the operator type is. So if it's single, so once you download this, and I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm going to save that list. And I apologize. This is new to me as well. So I'm going to save the
It's a
current
lot of
list.
data though.
I'm going to do California. Oop, if I can get my spelling to work.
You're sounding like a Southerner. You're spelling.
All right, spelling. So once I create that list, there's a map view. So I can see the map of where those locations are. So if I want to focus on a particular area, I can do that. The other thing I can do, let me scroll up here. I can export this in an Excel list. And I'll have that list of those operators literally within typically less than a minute, depending on how my computer's running today. But once you pull that list, then you can sort by that operator type. You can, sort by, we're going to give you several different data points that you're going to be able to pull from. So once you get that list, it's really simple and this is where Brandon's probably going to talk about some of the additional skip tracing possibilities. Again, these are large operators. We're going to tell you if they're self-storage or hybrid, which is a combination of self-storage and boat and RV hybrid. And then we're going to give you all the information, parcel ID, number of stories, year built, year last sold, price last sold. Again, really good data, especially if you're in a negotiating perspective. Loan data. So again, you can see if there's again, you can sort this by maturing date. So again, if you want to look at people who maybe have a 3 or 4% interest rate and they're going to be going to 8 or 9 or 10, that's probably somebody I'm going to look at.
Yeah.
Transaction history. So let's say it's one of these properties that you're looking at. You can see what it sold for last. Owner data. Again, a lot of these, and I apologize, this is a lot of bigger ones, but you can see Connecticut Storage Fund, storage equity. So you can see a lot of these are larger, but if you sort that by the, like you can see Paulwell Downey Properties, Inglewood Prairie Ave Inc. There's several different groups. And then you're going to get at bare minimum a mailing address. But then we also get into email addresses, phone numbers, specific contact information. So again, if you have a name and you know where they're from, using a skip trace, if we don't have the exact phone number or contact, it is a pretty simple process to focus on. One of the other cool tools, and again, if you're looking at, maybe a small portfolio of properties, let's see if I can. I'm just going to scroll this down and get into some smaller operators. Get away. There we go. So again, you can see there's several different smaller groups down here. I'm going to take these addresses. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go to the portfolio tool. Here you can see I've got several different portfolios in here. You can create a portfolio and just say, California, and again, whatever was. There's several different things you can add from existing markets. So for example, I have saved markets. I can just pull it up from there. You can upload a file. This is very specific, so I don't necessarily recommend that. Or you can bulk add addresses, and this is typically how I use it. I'm just going to drop those addresses in that I just copied off that list. It's going to verify those addresses. Once it verifies those addresses, it may find a few nuances to those locations. If it does, like for example, here, there in some cases it may be just a slight mapping issue. We're going to use that suggestion. Again, you can set the radius for whatever you want. So, for example, if I'm in a particular market and I see it's, maybe more competitors than what I necessarily need to see, I'm going to drop that back a little bit, and now I'm going to create that portfolio. That is now based on these particular operators. And I can view the market. If I want, I can add this to my saved markets. I'm just going to hit no. You can see the stores list of all the comps in that market. The other thing I can do is I'm going to go back to my portfolios because it's saved there now. So California, I can generate a portfolio summary report, and that's going to include the subject locations and all of the demographic data, rate trends, all in one report. You can have that for 44 properties in less than a couple of minutes.
That's
and
really
again,
great.
and this is where you can sift through and go, this market looks really good. This market, not so good. And again, a lot of times, first thing I go to is the rate trend. I'm going to sort it by that. I'm going to look at those markets with the highest rate trend probably first. And again, there are always outliers in this, so I never tell anybody just to use one particular data set. There's about, I believe, 18 different columns of data that you can view. So again, it's always, it's the sum of all the parts. So that's all the way I always tell everybody is look at all of the data points. We put them there for a reason. So
Yeah, that's
this
really good. That's good, especially if you're buying, if you're looking to buy like multiple sites, or if you have 5 or 6 deals and you're trying to analyze, okay, which one is the best? Like that's a really good tool.
Well, as Jim says, he just showed you like the real easy way
Yeah.
of looking for opportunities in a marketplace, doing less admin work. I mean, this is super fast, super quick. This is not a manual process. This is all automated tools for you to basically get the data that you need, investigate the market, find your hotspot, and get to it without having to drive around, look at what the landscape is. You can see quite clearly from what Jim's just demonstrated that this is a real easy way to do some real fast due diligence on
Yeah.
opportunities.
So I just collected market data on 44 markets.
Yeah.
And again, you can see the total net rentable square footage. And again, we'll give you 3 mile, 5 mile square foot per capita. Again, if you see something that looks way out of range, the operator types, maybe you don't want any REITs. So this one has 0 REITs in the market. Whatever those points that you're looking for. We'll also show you new developments that are coming. I mean, literally 44 markets, and you had that information literally in minutes.
Yeah. And what's the cost of entry again, Jim?
On this particular one, this is with our typically for our enterprise level, either state users or national users. However, this is going to be an add-on to our lower tiers as well. It's just going to be a price addition. It's going to be pretty nominal.
Yeah. And I think what Brandon touched on earlier, there's a number of these programs, especially for the commercial space. I think they start just for the basic entry around about $1,500–$1,600 a month. And they don't even have like half the information that we have in terms of merging pricing data with with the demographic information. So I think the pricing data and the demographic information gives you easy access to get this without having to manually scrape this information and try and pull together the demographic information.
It really does. And the other thing what we do, so even if you're not a subscriber, we can run these lists for you. Typically, state level reports, again, depending on the state range from 150 to 250. That pricing is based on really the number of store IDs or contacts that match your criteria. Again, we can do these. There's other tools that we have available. We can create a custom report. I'm just gonna look see if I've got one on here.
What about a single zip code?
You can do a single zip code. What, for that, it's probably going to be a minimum 150. The reason being is it just takes team time to create that report. You could, like I say, from the list builder, you can just do a zip code. You can go zip code by zip code.
Okay.
This is one, like I said, small operators, Florida. So we can put in different columns, and this one wanted a little bit more data than what comes in our standard one. So they wanted, for example, 1 mile, 3 mile, and 5 mile information. And we did that across all of those data fields.
Yeah, just touching on custom reports, because I do a lot of custom reports for a bunch of my clients. It's where the data becomes a little bit more complex. So if you want to start reading average numbers and you want us to do the calculations for you, we have a wide team that is dedicated to recalculating the data so that you can view it any which way you want to. And there's a couple of ways that we do that. If you're a subscriber, we just charge you per the hour that it takes us to do that. Some reports can take a couple of hours. Some reports can take upwards of 6 to 10 hours. So we most definitely have customers that we do a lot of these calculations for, especially if they're looking for averages mixed with longitude and latitude or any configuration of all the data we have. We're able to help you.
Yeah,
But
it really just depends how sophisticated you want to get. In most cases, like I say, we have standard templates, and if we can use those, and that's something we'll share with you. So if you tell, myself or Angela or somebody on the team, what you're looking for, typically we probably already have a template that's going to be pretty close, and that's where we can save on the hours of work. However, we can do sophisticated national reports literally by zip code with X number of operators, by rate trend, there's really some crazy sophisticated reports that we do. So again,
yeah.
it just really depends on what level you want to get into.
Okay, wonderful.
Any questions on that?
No question, but thank you. Very insightful. I really appreciate it.
Excellent. Yeah, and again, feel free to reach out to myself. Angela's on the list side. I'm on the StorTrack side. And I always tell people the easiest way to get in touch with me is typically email, just because I do a lot of phone calls, demos. My day's pretty stacked. Typically, I'll get back to you within an hour. And it's just james@stortrack.com. And the website is just stortrack.com. So if you ever want to go and just see, what services we have available or the different levels, it's super simple. Just on the StorTrack side, we've got solutions, and you can see for operators or investors. We have tools kind of designed for each, and if you just hover over and go down to Explore, you can kind of see where, and again, as I said, starts out at $79 a month. The Enhanced is our newest version, which is going to give you more tools, more downloadable reports. And then 30-day access, again, doesn't require a full Explorer membership, but that gets you 30 days access to all the whistles and bells for that particular market.
Which is good because there might be some folks that maybe you're not buying regularly and you don't need it every month. Maybe you just have a deal that you're buying and you just want to get the 30-day period as you're doing your due diligence. Like that's a good option.
Yeah, and then one of the ways you can do that is like again hovering on the solutions. If you just go to the instant market access, it's really the same link that links to list self storage. And again, you can see we've got self storage and we have vehicle, RV, and boat storage. So again, whichever you have a preference of looking at, you can do that. And again, you can search, and it's going to give you the brief overview of what's in the market. So again, before you even buy, you're going to at least have an idea. Does this make sense? Especially when you're looking at rates and square foot per capita, and household income, any of those numbers you get a quick preview. So I always tell people that's a great search tool if nothing else.
Wonderful.
Cool. Well, thanks, Angela and James. I appreciate it. You like to be called James or Jim? What's the preference?
It's really complicated, Brandon. No,
all right. Okay. Wow.
I know most people know most of my friends, and that's everybody here, I hope. Call me Jim. And then James, either or.
Okay. All right.
I started out as James a long time ago in the business, so I just kind of stuck with that one.
Well, thanks for having us, Brandon. We enjoyed joining your session. Again, my name is Angela Kilkenny on the List Self Storage. You can reach me at angela@stortrack.com, same as Gems, or feel free to give me a call on 650-539-2480. Happy to answer any questions you may have or help you in any way I can.
You can put Angela if you want. So I'm going to stay on for a couple more minutes and show them what to actually do with the information in terms of how to contact owners. But if you want to put your information in the chat, you guys you'll have some time to just copy and paste her information, so that way you can contact her if need be. Same with you, James, Jim, James.
Yeah, right. Whatever.
Jimmy.
All right. That works too. That's my really close friends.
All right, cool. Here, let me share my screen and go over it.
Yeah, I gotta hear your
okay. So hey guys, I'm gonna post this onto the group for all of you guys to follow. But this is kind of an off-market deal pursuit quick sheet in terms of the various steps that you follow in terms of contacting and finding off-market deals. So we just James just went over with StorTrack, selecting the market, how you can find a good market that you want to target. You also want to define your purchase criteria. Are you looking for stuff that is between 20,000 to 50,000, or are you looking for stuff that's a little bit smaller, 10,000 and below, right? Then once you have that, you then utilize StorTrack to obtain these lead lists. And you could either sign up with them for their monthly membership. You could do an enterprise plan like we do, where we just have we just pay an annual fee. Or like Jim said, you can just pay them per data set that you want. So if you want a list of storages in California that are 30,000 square feet or less, you can send an email to Jim, and then he'll send you back an invoice that you pay him the $125, whatever the fee is, and then he'll send you an Excel spreadsheet that has a list of those storages and with some contact information. Now, what I do, or what we do, because we're doing stuff on a national basis, a couple years ago, we started instead of just buying a state list or a county list, we just buy a list for the entire, United States, since we're doing deals all across the country. And what it would look like is when we buy their lists, they would just send us an Excel spreadsheet that's similar to this, where it has, okay, it's a single operator, what type of facility, is it storage, self-storage, the name, address, all this criteria. Some of it will have ownership information, but if it doesn't, I'm going to give you guys a website that you can use to do what's called skip tracing. And skip tracing is when you will take an address, or you'll take an ownership name, and then you'll find a skip tracer that will then search the ownership name, search the property address, so that way they can find contact information for, okay, an individual that may own it. So they'll find information for the name of the person that's part of that entity, as well as any type of email address or phone number or address associated with them. So we'll get that, and then we put it into this big list where we have it separated by regions: west, central, east, etc. And then we kind of get very detailed with it. And after we do our skip tracing, we now will have, okay, we got Dave Medley or Dave Baugh, whoever it is, and then we'll have a bunch of different potential phone numbers for this person, as well as email addresses. And let me give you guys the website that you use for that.
And a lot of people ask us, why the data that we put in here, why our lists aren't fully complete. It's just, that's really not our primary business, right? This was kind of we pull it, we do monitor it, we do clean it up, but we don't put dedicated resources on it.
Yeah.
And that's because, again, you can do this with a skip trace, like Brandon said,
Yeah.
pretty easily.
It's pretty, yeah, and it's not very inexpensive unless you're doing 50,000 records across the country. Then it could cost you a few $1,000. But the website that we use the most is called Fiverr, and it's right here. It's fiverr.com. And if you go to this website, you can hire these folks just on a per diem basis to do skip tracing for you. So what I would do is go to this site and then put in real estate skip tracing. And then you'll have a couple dozen, maybe even a couple hundred people that will come up that specialize in just finding ownership information on properties or LLCs which own properties. And we have some that we've been using for past 5-10 years. But all you have to do is just go on here and look for the folks that have the highest reviews. So anyone that's at 4.9, 5 stars, and they have several hundred reviews, those are some pretty decent individuals to use. So what you would do is just go onto their site, and then you could contact them, or you can do something where you can upload your list. So this Excel spreadsheet that I can do something where I can go here, upload this list to Mahar H, and then ask him for a bid and say, hey, give me a bid to provide skip tracing for this list of about, 50 or 60,000 records, right? And the reason why our list is 60,000 records is because we don't have the REITs in our list, so the large operators like Public Storage, Extra Space. Usually when those folks want to sell something, they're just going to sell to each other, so we don't even waste time with them. But we have the smaller operators, the single operators, everyone that's a non-REIT is what we have in our list, and that's about 60,000 across the nation, right? So then once you do that, then this guy, he'll give you a bid. Usually they're between 3 to 5 cents per record. So if you have 50,000 records that you want them to skip trace, multiply that by 3 cents. Now you're at, what is that, $1,500 that you're going to pay to have that list skip trace. Or for some of the, they give you a bulk discount. So if you're skip tracing a large amount of data, then they'll charge you 3 cents, 4 cents. If you're only skip tracing maybe a couple hundred people, then maybe they'll charge you a little bit more, like 7 cents, 10 cents per record.
That's one of the other things too with the list. I always tell people, and again, Brandon has a team, right? So if you're a single solo person, or maybe it's you and a partner looking, that's what, use those data points, pick the
Yeah.
ones you want, and start with something, start with a small manageable list.
Yep.
And kind of go from there.
Yeah, so you don't have to do all 50,000 folks. Like, I mean, a lot of you guys are not buying across the entire nation. You're more centralized in certain states. So, like you, Scott, you're in Florida. You can just pick a list for Florida, or have it specifically along the Florida Panhandle, or like Jasmine and Jose, you guys are in Alabama, or Brandy, I think you're in like Southeast. I think you're North Carolina somewhere where you're at, Carolinas. Is that right?
I'm actually in Florida right now, but I am heading up to South Carolina in a couple of weeks.
Right, exactly. So you guys can just choose lists that are specific to those areas. And again, you can either have your subscription with StorTrack where you can download it yourself, or if you just want to buy a list, just contact James and he'll sell you just a single list.
Yeah, and I've had people too in like a tri-state corner, and they say, listen, let's do 150-mile radius around this area, so you can look at multiple states. So always, just kind of keep that in mind, that we can fine tune that report.
Yeah. So then once you have your list in the skip trace, now this is where it comes. Now here comes the outreach to the owner, and what we do is we hit them in multiple different areas, because different owners, they respond to different methods of contact. You have some folks that are a little bit more old school where they answer the phone, or they'll respond to a letter that you mail to them. Then you have other folks where, okay, you don't reach them by the phone, so you'll send them an email blast through various email blast services that we use, such as like Follow Up Boss or Constant Contact. And it's just a simple email blast. Hey, I'm Brandon Robinson, myself and my group. We look to buy self-storage facilities in your area. We noticed your property, wanted to see if you'd be open to receiving an offer. And just keep it short, sweet. The less information that you give them, the more it causes them to want to contact you to get additional information on who you are, what you're about, and what your offer is. So you don't want to be too detailed and give them too much info. You want to give them a reason to call you to get additional information. We also do text message blasts, and I'll show you guys these websites that we use too. So we use ClickSend and we use SlideText, and these are, and I know you guys get it too, these are those annoying text messages that you get from those bots that are like, hey Jim, or you have an interest in selling your home. A lot of if you're a homeowner, you probably get these all the time from people wanting to make an offer on your home.
Is that you, Brandon?
That's not not on the home. If it's a storage, that's me on the storage side, but on the house side, no, that's not me. And then also too, we use the ringless voicemail. So the ringless voicemail system that we use is Slide Broadcast. And again, what we do is we just take this. You can take this Excel spreadsheet and you can upload it into these various platforms. You can upload it into Constant Contact. So now let's say you had 1,000 records in your Excel spreadsheet. You now upload it to Constant Contact. You can now send emails to those folks on a weekly basis. Just simple marketing emails. Hey, we're buying storages in this area. If you're interested, contact us. Simple. You can upload it into ClickSend and SlideText and send text message blasts. And again, with the text messages, you want them to be short and sweet. Hey, I'm an investor. I have capital. and I'm actively looking to buy storage in your area, please call me for an offer. And you'll be surprised at how many people call you back. Usually when we send these out in kind of batches of 1,000 at a time. If we send out a text message blast to 1,000 people, we'll get about 25, 30 of them that will respond. I've been considering it. What's your offer? Or call me. Or usually if we send 1,000, we'll probably get about 100 people that will respond. 70 of them will tell us no, or they might cuss us out, or they might send us a middle finger emoji. But then you'll have a good 25 to 30 that will show some interest. And then, with those 25 to 30, you contact them, and then eventually, you get to the point where you're working some type of off-market deal. And then as far as mailers and letters, we have, and if you guys want this stuff, just let me know. I can put it onto the group portal. We just have standard mail templates. Just says, hey, we're drop zone storage centers. We own X amount of storage facilities. We are looking to buy and grow in this area. We notice your property and would love to make you an offer. Please contact us via email or phone at XYZ. So just again, you're just hitting these folks over and over and over through multiple points until you get them to respond. And the benefit of doing it this way versus finding stuff that's on the open market is usually when you're finding stuff off market, you don't have a bunch of competition. The stuff that's on a website like List Self Storage or Crexy, you have thousands of people across the nation that are looking at that deal. That owner is getting a bunch of offers. They priced it. They might have priced it high. But if you can find somebody and buy a property from them before they start getting a bunch of offers from dozens of other people, you can now buy it for probably undervalued. Especially if you're buying something from someone who is not as sophisticated. For example, I specifically like to, when I'm buying a deal, I like to buy deals from people that don't have a website. Because if they don't have a website, that tells me that they're not keeping up with the market. They're not on LoopNet. They're not on Crexy. They're not seeing what stuff is selling for per square foot. So if they're not tech savvy, that shows me that, okay, I can probably buy this for a lot less than what it's actually worth on the public market. And if they don't know that properties in their area are selling for $60 a square foot, they might tell me they want a price of $20 to $30 a square foot, and that's a deal because I'm buying it with instant equity. So here I'll show you guys just a quick summary of some of the tools that we use. So this is a Follow Up Boss. If you go to www.followupboss.com, this is a CR, customer relationship management software that we use for the Calvary Realty team. And with this is cool because it kind of has everything all in one. So from this, we can upload all of our leads into this database. We can email them. We can call them. We can even send them text messages through this software, and we can see, okay, the history of our contact with them. When's the last time we sent them an email? When's the last time we text them? We can see how many times they're opening our emails. So if you guys are using this in terms of prospecting, you can send emails to folks and see who's opening your email how many times. If you get someone that opens a prospect email 9 or 10 times, that probably means, hey, they're thinking about seriously calling you or selling, and you probably should follow up with them with a call or a text or an email. If you don't want to use Follow Up Boss, and let's say you just want to have something that's just specific for sending an email, we use Constant Contact. It's probably the most well-known software for sending out mass emails. So Constant Contact is a good one. Because we have so many leads, we're paying a couple $100. But if you only have say 100 to 1,000 leads in Constant Contact, I mean, that's probably going to run you about $100, maybe even less. As far as the text message blast, we use this software called ClickSend. And again, you go to clicksend.com. And with ClickSend, again, you can upload your list of leads that you get from James that you skip trace. And now you upload that into all these different softwares. And now you can send out not just an email, but you can also send out a text as well. And if you look here, we have, let's say I wanted to send out, a blast. I can select from all these various lists that I have. So, we have our lists populated by state and region. And yeah, we can just, if I were to click on this and then type a message right here and then click next and send, this is going to send a message to these 284 recipients. And then as far as the voicemail drops, I know you guys probably get those annoying voicemail drops where it's showing that you have a voicemail, but your phone doesn't actually ring. It's called a ringless voicemail. One of the tools that we use for that is called Slide Broadcast. And with this, you go into this website and you can record audio. Just record a quick 30-second or 40-second message for someone. Hey, my name is Brandy and I'm interested in buying your storage facility. Please contact me if you're open to receiving an unsolicited offer, right? Like, for example, this is one.
Hello, this is Tamara.
Can you guys hear my volume?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So what I do is I just get folks on my team to record these messages, and then we'll send it out to various lists that we upload. Again, the list that we have here that we get from James at Skip Trace, we upload it into this ringless voicemail system, and then we'll send them a voicemail like this.
Hello, this is Tamara Jones with Calvary Realty. The self-storage market is hot right now, and we have clients actively paying top dollar for storage properties like yours nationwide. I'd love to speak with you about an offer to purchase your facility. Please call me back at area code 909-380-0073. Thanks, and I look forward to connecting with you soon.
And then from that, we send these out, 1,000 at a time. So we send out 1,000, we'll get 50 people that'll call us back. Half of them will be cussing us out. How did you get my number? What is it? Right? So you're gonna get some folks call you back and cuss you out. But then you'll get, 15 to 20 people that will, hey, yeah, I'm just calling you back. I got your voicemail. I actually have been thinking about selling. Or my mother just died, or that whatever their reason is, you'll get some hits from it, right? So again, you're just doing multiple touches, multiple ways that you're contacting these folks to to get a deal done.
That's really informative, because then you can do a lot of outreach. You can automate outreach, which
Exactly.
is the key to reaching more people. Well, I've certainly learned something new on that, Brandon. Thank you so much.
No,
I did too.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, and then look, if you guys don't, let's say you don't want to do it or you don't have the time to do it, you can always hire a virtual assistant, pay them $5-6 an hour, and get them to do this stuff for you. Like, there's plenty of people I know that we do it too, where you just hire a virtual assistant to do all this stuff. And then once they have a lead that's hot that says, yeah, I'm interested, I'd like more information, then that's when they can pass that lead over to you, and then you can come in and carry on the conversation from there.
Well, thank you so much, Brandon. I'm going to have to jump off.
No
I've got
problem.
a meeting starting shortly, but thank you very much for having me. And Jim, I'll catch up with you later.
Yep, I've got to jump too. Thank you again,
problem.
Brandon. Thanks for everybody that
Thank you.
listened in.
All right,
Talk
you
to
guys
you
take
soon.
care. So I
Thanks a lot.
got about 5 minutes, and I'll show you some other stuff. And then if you guys have any questions, or if you guys, I don't know, maybe you guys want some kind of one-on-one time and you want to schedule a consultation where I can go through all this stuff with you in detail, let me know. I can definitely do that as well. And then as far as sending mailers, there's a lot of software out there that you can use to send mailers. You can connect with a local title rep, and that title rep can get you set up to send direct mail to people. Or if you want to be a little old school, you can handwrite. Well, not handwrite. You can type up a letter and then sign it with wet ink, and then just mail it to people. But if you're doing stuff on a mass scale like we are, you probably want to have some type of direct mail system where you can mail stuff to a couple hundred people at a time. And with that, we use an app called Deal Machine, where with this Deal Machine, again, we can upload our leads list into Deal Machine, come over here to mail, and then we can select to we can select different types of postcards. You can even upload postcards onto here. So if you have someone that designs a custom postcard, you can upload it to this, and then from Deal Machine, you can send out mailers to folks on your leads list. And it's typically, I want to say it's about 59 cents per mailer if you're doing stuff on Deal Machine. Let me, okay, I want to say it's about 59 cents. Where is that? Where are you? Okay, nothing with you. Anyway, I know it's 59 cents. We just had to do some stuff. So 59 cents. And then another thing, this is my last point. Another thing you guys can do too is just go into all the Facebook groups. So all these various Facebook groups that are that are designated for self-storage. Let me see, like self-storage managers, owners network. I would encourage you guys to just join as many self-storage groups as you can. There's about maybe 40 or 50 of them that I know I'm a part of, and I go in here and I post listings. I post, if I have a client looking to buy storage in a certain area, I'll post that. But you can come into these websites and you can just post your buy box. Like, hey, my name is Jeremy. I'm interested in buying storages in Alabama and in Tennessee up to $2 million. If you have anything, please contact me. And then you'll be surprised at how many people will contact you through this site. And we've generated a lot of leads from listings just by making posts in this site and having owners that were interested send us a direct message that, hey, I'm interested in selling. Please give me a call. So that's it. The only other thing I would say to you guys to do too for finding off-market deals is to join as many of the brokerage e-blasts as you can. So a lot of you guys, you're already on our email blast, so you get our emails. But join Marcus and Millichap and CBRE and all these different groups that are selling storages. Just reach out to them with your buy box. Hey, I'm so and so. I'm looking to buy storages in this area for this dollar amount. If you have anything off market, let me know. If I find something off market, I'll work with you. I won't go around you and screw you over, etc. So and just be upfront, or not upfront. Just be honest and don't try to screw brokers over, because if a broker brings you an off market deal and then you try to go around their back to deal with that seller to try to cut the broker out and get a lower price because now the seller doesn't have to pay brokerage commission, that'll be the last time that broker will send you anything off market. So don't burn your bridges. If a broker sends you something off market, don't try to go around them and screw them over, because that's a quick way to get on their list of people that they're not going to deal with. And then also too, if you guys have stuff that you find off market through all these means that I'm teaching you, you guys feel free to get me involved. I can still work deals for you guys and represent you, even if it's off market. because I can help you write up the purchase agreement. I can make the offer on your behalf. I can, do help you with the due diligence. So just because you find something off market yourself doesn't mean that you don't have to use a broker. You could still use myself, a member of my team, or any other broker, even if it's a deal that's off market. So anyway, hope that helps you guys. You guys have any questions?
No, but that was helpful today.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, hey, appreciate you guys for hopping on. I don't know if you guys were on at the start, but next week is the ISS Storage Convention. It's from Tuesday to Friday. I would encourage all of you guys to get out there and be a part of it. It's probably the biggest gathering of storage professionals in the nation. A lot of education there.
Where is it?
It's in Vegas. It's in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
If you want, I can here. I'll send you the link. Hold on. Let me send you the link. And it's inside. It's called Inside Self Storage Expo.
It's a good time. I went 2 years ago, and it's fun.
Yeah. Okay, I just put it in the link. Now, I planned on attending next week, but I got due to some other stuff. I can't make it next week. But what I'm gonna do is, because I won't be at the expo next week, I will host an investment club meeting next Wednesday. So if any of you guys are around, if you're not going to be at the expo, I will host a meeting next Wednesday, 10 o'clock Pacific, and I'm going to talk about how to find a boots on the ground manager for some of your remote facilities. So anyway, with that being said, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
If you need any help, reach out to me.
All right. Have a blessed day.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.